Most of business companies claim that customer behaviors have changed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So, this is the topic that we will discuss today. Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Nur Shazala binti Masifubari. We are from HM2425BA. So, before we start our presentation, let me introduce my teammates first. Okay, I will start the presentation with why the business companies too concerned about the changes in customer behavior. This question can be answered by looking at the concept of yield management system. The goal of a business is to achieve maximum profit, and the way to achieve this goal is by knowing and react to the customer behavior. It is important to sell a right product to a right customer at a right time and at a right price. So this is why the business company take the issue of the changes in customer behavior as a serious issue. If these changes happen and there is no alternative or response by the company, it will affect on the profit in the future. For example, before this, customer will tend to walk in or dine into the restaurant as usual, but nowadays, the customer prefer for home cooked and delivery food. Therefore, most of the restaurants started to provide food delivery service nowadays. It is one of the examples how the restaurant and business owner react on the changes in customer behavior. Okay, next, how the business owner determine or detect there is changes in customer behavior. Actually, there are few ways to determine these changes, such as by using statistic data or by looking at buying patterns. For example, when the managers do monthly closing on the sales, they can see the pattern of their sales for that month compared to before this. When there is decreasing number of sales and profit drastically, there may be changes in customer behavior. Secondly, by looking at buying patterns, how the customer buys something, either they buy weekly, monthly, or buy the product at a large amount at one time, or else by looking at this, the business company can determine the potential product, what the customer needs at that time, and how to generate maximum number of profit.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Imina binti Abdul Muttalib. So I will discuss about the social influence that can change the customer behavior during this pandemic of COVID-19. Firstly is the customer was aware about the personal hygiene. They was influenced by others, which is how the other people take action when they purchasing and come at the retailer. They really want the employees to wearing a mask and also provided a hand sanitizer for them. Next is we can see the customer behavior change from the products that they consume. Nowadays, they more want to prefer a healthy products and the products can give the benefits to them. Also, people are aware that they need to get a healthy products to strengthen their immune system, so the other people also want to get more the healthy of product. Last but not least, the customer behavior was changed, which is before this, they was go to the any establishment such as restaurant to get their foods. But nowadays, they more do the online purchasing or online ordering at the any social media. Since the customer was see that other people's not go to the establishment, then the other people's also not go at the establishment since the COVID-19 was not allow them, and they more comfortable doing the purchasing by online. It can be concluded that the social influence was be the reason why the customer behavior was changed during this pandemic of COVID-19. There was influence by others to keep their personal hygienes, to get more healthy products, and also more using the technology than go to the outside. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hakim Ghazali. Today, I will explain about the marketing influence. It has four types, which is product influence, price influence, place influence, and promotion influence. Okay, firstly is product influence. According to Kotler 2008, product represent the intangible product itself, and the range it belongs to Coleman 2009 developed and this point and they explain that the product has to satisfy needs and wants. Each product must meet the expectation of the customer. Those expectations may vary during the buying process and according to people who might influence the customer choice. For example, nowadays, during pandemic, the products such as face masks are the best selling product for customer. Okay, secondly is the price influence. According to the Kotler 2008, price defined is as the selling price of the product have two strategies that can be highlighted, which is the pull and push strategies. The price also can be defined as the amount of money needed by customer to buy the product. It involves the marketing calculation and company have to find the right price for each product. During the pandemic, the price of items such as face mask, bread, chicken, and meat are higher than their original price before pandemic. The third is place influence. According to Kotler 2008, place represent the location where the product can be purchased in physical or online store and distribution channel. During pandemic, we can see the people nowadays like to buy the product through online platform such as Shopee, Lazada, and so on. It's because they're afraid to go outside to buy the product due to the COVID-19 and they fear being infected with COVID-19. But not least is the promotion influence. According to the Kotler 2008, promotion as the way of communication and various media involved such as TV and radio. Communication is the pillar for a company. If company not communicate and try to be recognized, it is destined to failure. During pandemic, the promotion also occur. For example, in certain mall promote the price of face mask for 15% discount.
Assalamualaikum, hi, I'm Fidai, the next presenter, and I will continue about the situational influences that affect the customer behavior due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During the coronavirus pandemic, the specific fears that consumers expressed are such as family's health, personal health, the economy, and the spreading virus to others. In this situation, the consumer are no longer considering the purchase of the big ticket items such as homes, cars, trips, and luxury goods. Instead, the consumer are more focusing on the two tiers of the consumable products, which deemed as the survival tier and the sanity tier. Survival tier are such as food and beverages, personal care items, medicine, and household cleaning items. For the sanity tiers are such as entertainment, beauty products, and electronics. These physical features are actually influence people consume behavior. This pandemic crisis has made people more aware of the crowd and the importance of social distancing. People would avoid going into a crowded places with no new COVID-19 policies that would likely risk their safety. Next is social features. Social influences people to comply with group expectation, particularly when behavior is visible. For example, the purchase of black masks are quite popular among consumers rather than the white plain mask. The reason why people tend to buy colorful masks instead of the plain one, and the hand sanitizer with fancy looking bottles instead of the transparent one, because this consumer wanted to press their group of friends, families, and even colleagues. Using the internet as a solitary pursuit, is different when using it in a social context because of the convenience and the embarrassment of buying private products, which lead to home delivery. Next is timing. Nowadays, consumers likely spend more time in a store. Limited purchase time often limited search because before buying, consumers more likely to list down their item list, which they likely to buy more important and necessary stuff such as food and beverages and house cleaning items. The internet shopping is growing rapidly, especially during the lockdown, as a result of time pressure felt by the consumer. Last but not least is the current condition of consumer. Due to pandemic, some consumers feel anxious and worried, which leads to panic buying of staples and hygiene products. Some people buy sanitary products to cope with depression and overwhelming stress during the lockdown. These people spend more money on fast food, beauty products, electronics, games, and internet accesses to entertain their daily life. Even some of the products are made through online purchasing, which lead to home delivery services.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Asha. I will continue with last factor that influence customer in decision-making process. I will explain on psychological influences. There are 4 psychological factors that influence customer buying choices. First is motivation, second, learning, third, perception, lastly, we have belief and attitude. First, we're going to look further on the motivation, as motivation we know is the inner drive or pressure to take action to satisfy need. Thus, if we want to get a higher profit or revenue, it is usual to use motivation in a marketing practice. This helps a lot. It triggers customers to set goals, take action, and solve their need based on problems. For example, during this COVID, we can see the delivery third party as Food Panda are being highly approached by the customer as they manage to motivate and picture buying food conveniently and more safely as they provide a delivery food to the customer doorstep. Second factor is learning, as learning is an ongoing process and also a behavior that results from a previous experience. Thus, marketing should be really careful in reviewing their product as this can give an impact in their future revenue company. For example, if the consumer have bad experience during dine-in at restaurant, like she or she get sick after consuming the food at the restaurant, there is a high probability that the person will never return back to the restaurant after this, as the past bad experience has associated the food at the restaurant as a discomfort situation to the person, and the person had learned to not dine in or buying food from the restaurant anymore. The third factor is perception. This perception can result on what is the personality of the consumer. This can be looked by the consumer perception on the certain situation on how he or she acts. Different people can form different perceptions of the same stimulus as being influenced by 3 perceptual processes. But in simple words, for whatever stimuli, people are more likely to be attracted to stimuli that relate to their current needs. People are also more likely to notice a large deviation of stimuli than usual size of the stimuli. For example, customers who craving for fast food, they will be more likely to notice an ad offering on those different brands of fast food in the television than the normal people that does not have any interest on fast food. The last factor for psychological influence is belief and attitude. As both of these related, thus it is important for marketers to understand this factor as it may affect the consumer behavior. For example, there are rumors that saying Cadbury chocolate contain a porcine DNA, which is lead to prohibited to be consumed by Muslim. Thus, in order to end the rumors of the Cadbury company, and Halal Jakim have come out with a clear information of the status of the product. Even after the incident, they have come out with many marketing ideas to regain back the belief of the consumer. Does this really show that it is important to avoid incorrect belief exists among the population? For the conclusions, all the 4 factors that have been discussed in our presentation is really give impact in consumer decision making. Thus, it really shows that it is important to anticipate in understanding the customer behavior in order to maximize revenue or profit. The end of our presentation. Thank you.